what are your targets? Because, there are different people who try to be, let's say, more fit. Some people are very concerned with getting carbohydrates, especially when they switch to vegan diet, because, oh, now my carbs are way higher than it used to be. So what is maybe your macro split, or what are your targets that you try to hit?
So
just a general idea.
Yeah, first is protein. So I have my if I'm on a high protein target, that's going to be around 2.45 grams protein per kilo of body weight. So then I've got that laid out, which is first. So I consider that first. Mm-hmm. And then for me, I tend to do better, a little bit less fat and more carb. Also carb for training. So I tend to eat a lot of carbs too, before and after training. So I think my fats are probably around 20% of my split, and then carbs make up the rest. So
right. When it comes to also just carbohydrates and protein and fats, it's like you are not really concerned about it as long as you eat, let's say, your protein and your overall calories. Is that right?
So yeah, I use a macro tracker. Mm-hmm. So I'll just put not all the time, but especially when I'm leading into a competition, I need to be a certain weight. So I need to be a bit more careful. I'll start to track a bit more, but I have, a general protein intake, which is, I try to stick to that always. And then carbs and fats, like I said, somewhere can be a bit more flexible with, but generally I find myself eating a lot more carbs and fats. I've had some issues with stomach problems, eating too much like avocado and coconut oil stuff. So I think I don't do well with super fatty, like macro split. So I tend also to shoot more for carbs, but I like to keep a minimum of, like I said, at least 20% of my calories coming from fat. So somewhere in the range of 20 to 25 usually is where I have the fats, and then the carbs make up the rest. So yeah, I track it generally, but obviously these trackers aren't exact, but I do the best I can to have an idea of, what I'm getting on a daily basis. And you do it long enough, you start to understand generally what you need in a day to be able to meet those targets.